Welcome back to the channel, and I'm so happy that it is finally Champ Week in college basketball. Conference tournaments going on all throughout this week. Some of them started last week, and overall, just a very exciting time for the sport and sports in general, leading up to Sunday, March 17th selection show, in which the NCAA March Madness bracket will be revealed. So I'm going to be giving my conference tournament predictions for the Big Six conferences. Maybe in the future I will expand this, do more conferences, but for this year I'm just going to be doing the Big Six, which is Big Ten, Big 12, SEC, ACC, Pac 12, and a Big East. So starting with the Big Ten, let's get right into it. Number 12, Maryland will be taking on number 13, Rutgers. This is today, March 13th. I think this game might have already started, but I haven't been really checking the score. I think Maryland had somewhat of a disappointing season uh, court, uh, for their fans. I know they had a lot of expectations coming into the season, bringing back Jameer Young, bringing back Dante Scott. Overall, just high hopes for this team. Didn't really get it done. And then Rutgers, on the other hand, they have also had a disappointing season. Just lost a lot of leadership from last year. Not a very explosive team, I guess I should say, but both of these teams not really much to play for unless they win this entire tournament. Obviously, in that case, they would make the March Madness tournament. So I'm going to go with Rutgers to get this win right here. Then we have number 11 Penn State taking on number 14 Michigan. Michigan with just an abysmal season. As a Michigan fan, this is the worst Michigan basketball team I've ever seen, and I'm not happy to say that. Number 11, Penn State, they've had a little bit of a downgrade from last year where they made the round of 32. Obviously, they lost Jalen Pickett, Miles Dredd, those guys. But I still think that Penn State is going to get the win because Michigan just cannot get anything going defensively and offensively. I feel like they're too reliant on Doug McDaniel, and a lot of their weapons are just not clicking right now for this Michigan team. We'll see what happens in the offseason for them. Then the second round, this will happen tomorrow, Thursday, March 14th, where every team besides the top four teams that is still alive will play. And kicking it off, we have number 8, Michigan State, taking on number 9, Minnesota. Michigan State obviously just had that very heartbreaking loss at Indiana in the last game of the season, dropping them to 18-13 overall. Lots of bracketologists, including Joe Lenardi, are still saying that they are going to make the tournament, which I mean, I agree that they're going to make the tournament. 18-13 isn't a great record for a tournament team, but I do think that State will make the tournament. And I think if they want to just feel a little bit more comfortable about that assertion, they would like to get a win here against Minnesota. Minnesota's had a decent year. I don't think they're not really in consideration, at least right now, for the NCAA tournament. They would probably have to win the Big Ten tournament to get a spot in the NCAA tournament. But I'm going to go with Michigan State. I like their leadership. Tyson Walker, dude's a baller. And so, yeah, I'm going to go with Michigan State. Then we got number 5, Wisconsin, taking on number 13, Rutgers. Wisconsin really has just been just falling downhill ever since they cracked the top 10 about a month ago. Um, some bracketologists, I know Joe Lenardi still has them as a number 6 seed in the NCAA tournament, which honestly I do not understand. This team looks like just dead in the water right now. I don't know when the last time was that they even strung together consecutive wins. Maybe it was recently. Maybe I just am not keeping up with Wisconsin basketball enough. But I do know that they are on the decline, and Rutgers is going to be playing motivated. Have nothing to lose essentially. So I'm going to go with the upset pick here to take Rutgers. Then we got number 7 Iowa and number 10 Ohio State. Number 7 Iowa, they're on a lot of bracketologists first four out slash next four out. So I'd say for them to make the tournament, they probably have to win this game, and then I think they also have to beat Illinois, and then they honestly might have to make a run to the final of this tournament to feel comfortable about a spot in the NCAA tournament. Whereas Ohio State, they're starting to come onto some bracketologists' radars. They've been playing much better ever since they fired Chris Holtmann, their interim head coach. I don't know what he's been doing over there, but Ohio State has been playing much better over the past month, and I just like the way they're playing in general. Bruce Thornton is a great leader and just a great player all around. So I'm going to go with Ohio State in this one. Then we got number 6 Indiana taking on number 11 Penn State. I am gonna Indiana, excuse me. They had a very emotional win against Michigan State on their senior day. Got the win for their seniors. And I just like Indiana. They've been playing better actually. I think they're on a 4-game winning streak. I like the way they're playing recently, and I think they're going to get the win against Penn State. Then we move to the quarterfinals. This will happen on Friday, March 15th. This is where the top four seeds in this tournament see their first action. And that will start with number one Purdue versus number eight Michigan State. These teams played about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, in Mackey. Michigan State got off to a hot start. Then Purdue kind of took over. Michigan State was able to keep it close, but never quite get within, one or two possessions in a position where they could end up taking the lead. Purdue hit a big shot. I think Mason Gillis hit a huge three with about a minute left to really put the game away. But it was a great game, competitive game for the Spartans. Definitely, I guess there really are no moral victories, but if there were, then that would be a moral victory for the Spartans. Purdue, I just think they are just a dominant force. They're my pick to be the number one overall seed in the NCAA tournament. I know that's what a lot of bracketologists have them at right now. And I think if they win this tournament, then they will be the number one overall seed. And I think they're definitely going to be able to take down Michigan State, although it could be close. Then we got number four Northwestern taking on Rutgers. Northwestern, Boo Buie, the super senior, feels like he's been in college for forever. I don't know how old he is, but it seems like the guy's 30 at this point. But he's still a baller, and I respect him. Why not maximize your college time if you're not going to go pro? Really, I don't see the problem really in these guys staying if they have the eligibility. Might as well take advantage of the system. And I do think Northwestern is going to get a win here against a Rutgers team who doesn't really have much to play for. So yeah, I'm going to go with Northwestern here. Then we got Illinois taking on Ohio State. Definitely a must-win game for Ohio State if they want any chance at seeing the NCAA tournament. But Illinois, man, they're just a matchup nightmare for teams. They're tall, they're athletic. They got Coleman Hawkins, who everybody knows can handle the ball at almost, no, not almost 7 feet, but he's got to be like 6'9", 6'10". They got Terrence Shannon Jr., who's one of the fastest guys, not just in the conference, but in the country. And then they got guys like Marcus Domask and Quincy Guerrier that are just like essentially positionless and just very hard to guard when you factor in all the other players. And I think it's going to be tough for Ohio State to mitigate these factors. I think Illinois should be able to get theirs, and I think they're going to beat Ohio State. Then we got Nebraska, who has become one of my favorite teams. Keisei Tominaga, love the guy. I just think he's so entertaining to watch. He seems like a mini Steph Curry kind of, because every time he shoots it, you think it's going in. He's just so fun to watch. Taking on Indiana, and I'm going to go with the upset pick here. I think that Indiana is going to be motivated. Nebraska should be already in the NCAA tournament, so maybe motivation would be a question there. Maybe not. But I think Khalil Ware is going to have a great game, and for that reason, give me Indiana. Then on Saturday, March 16th, we have the semifinals Purdue versus Northwestern. Look, I know Northwestern beat Purdue earlier in the year, but Purdue is going to, I think they're going to avenge that loss. I know they already did avenge that loss this season, but I think they're going to still be fired up, wanting to get back to another Big Ten championship, and that they're going to get the win here. Then we got Illinois versus Indiana. And I think this is where Indiana's Cinderella run comes to an end. I am going to go with Illinois. I think they match up well with Indiana. And Illinois, just in general, I like the way this team's playing. Then we got the rematch everybody's been wanting, at least myself, um, between Purdue and Illinois. Purdue is 2-0 against Illinois this season so far. The most recent matchup was just last week in Champaign, where Illinois led for a solid majority of the game, but Purdue made a late push at the end. Braden Smith hit some huge shots and got them the win in the Big Ten regular season title. But now playing for a Big Ten tournament title. Look, it's hard to beat a team 3 times in the same season, but if any team is going to do it, it's this Purdue team. And I just think that Zach Edey. See, the thing about this Purdue team is obviously Zach Edey is going to get his, being the presence that he is, but I just think the role players like Braden Smith, Fletcher Lord, Mason Gillis, Lance Jones, they've just been so much better than they were last year. And I think this team overall is just so much more solid. And I got Purdue repeating as Big Ten champions. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to stay tuned. I'm going to be posting the rest of my conference tournament predictions very shortly, so make sure to stay tuned. And I'll see you guys in the next one.